Hello everyone and welcome to the F1 corner after the first ever sprint qualifying of the British Grand Prix. Here to bring you the highlights and opinion on this first edition of a sprint in Formula 1. Before we dive into it, please remember to smash the like button and to subscribe to this channel if you enjoy Formula 1, if you want to know more about Formula 1, and obviously to avoid missing any update regarding this whole 2021 Formula 1 season. So let's take one thing out of the way right now. Let's stop calling it sprint qualifying. This was an actual race. I'm gonna refer to it as a race from this point on. This is not a qualifying session. So somewhat of an exciting race. First lap especially, Max Verstappen taking the lead over Lewis Hamilton and keeping it until the end. Fernando Alonso, stunning start, gaining 6 places. Kimi Raikkonen +4 at the start. So there was definitely some action when the sprint started. After that, Verstappen stayed in the lead. The Mercedes could never catch up to him. Sergio Perez made a mistake while following Alonso and Lando Norris and ended up in the grass. Perez did not finish the sprint race, so for the guy who qualified in 5th place on Friday, it's going to be dead last start for the actual Grand Prix. What else do we have? Highlights here. Fernando Alonso ending the race in 7th place, so it's +4 compared to quali. But does he have the pace to keep going? You know, looking at the car behind him, who are Vettel, Russell, Ocon, there's a fair chance that he could stay in front of that bunch. Carlos Sainz, who had an early collision with George Russell, ended up far behind, but in the end Sainz made it up back to 11th place, so qualified 9th on Friday, starts 11, not too bad. He's one of those guys that will probably quickly overtake the bunch of Alonso, Vettel, etc. And but apart from that, for much of the grid, it's more or less the same as what they qualified on Friday. People gaining places, obviously, with Perez dropping out, but you know, the number of +1 here, Norris, same place, Ricardo, Stroll, obviously the Latifi, Schumacher, Mazepin, all these guys gaining a place because Perez will start last. But overall, we have somewhat of a similar grid from what we had on Friday. What to think here? Well, you know, let's go over what will be the actual starting grid for the race on Sunday, and I'll give you my opinion about the whole thing so far. So in pole position for the race, Max Verstappen, followed by Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. 4th place we have Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris in 5th, Daniel Ricciardo 6th, Fernando Alonso 7th, Sebastian Vettel 8th, followed by George Russell, who lost a place during that race, Esteban Ocon, 10th, and then 11th Carlos Sainz, followed by Pierre Gasly, Kimi Raikkonen 13, Lance Stroll 14, Giovinazzi 15, Yuki Tsunoda, same place as where he started, 16, Nicolas Latifi 17, and then Mick Schumacher, Nikita Mazepin, and Sergio Perez. So, half-hour race, 17 lap. So far I am still somewhat mitigated about the whole event. Yes, I agree, this was an exciting 17 lap to some extent, but I think it was also too short. It's like, you know, I open my TV, 30 minutes later I close it and I'm here in the park recording this. So it's like I'm left thirsty or hungry for more. Also somewhat weird that the actual qualifying, which was on Friday, does not mean much for the race itself. I think there's probably some tweak we could have there. I really think that the qualifying session should define also the grid for the race itself. So something to do there. The fact that we called it sprint qualifying, but it's not a qualifying. It is a proper race. Everyone was going at it. It felt somewhat like a first stint of a full lengthy race, and I will say I am also still disappointed that quali is on a Friday for people who are in America, like me. It falls right during working hours, and even if you record it or try to watch some replay somewhere, well, social media spoils everything literally minutes, if not seconds, after the end of the qualifying session. So it's no real use watching a replay when it won't mean when you already know the results. So I think there's some tweak to do there. I understand that they want to put action on a Friday, but for attending events myself, like the Canadian Grand Prix, I think it is good to have a day with no action, because it allows you to also walk around the track, make the best of all the events around the track when you go to a Formula One race. Also, you have to consider, for people who go to Formula One races, not everyone can make it for Friday at the track, because once again, people are working when the qualifying happened on Friday. So really there is something to do there, to change, I think. Maybe put quali on early Saturday. I wouldn't mind, being an early bird, getting up early in the day to watch a qualifying session, and then the sprint later in the afternoon on Saturday. That would be fine for me, but definitely not the schedule that I prefer. So we still have the race tomorrow, Sunday, and with Verstappen in front, that seemed pretty much quicker than Hamilton overall during during those 17 laps. I think the Red Bull have a fair chance of staying first and winning that race. The fact that Sergio Perez will start last will not help Max Verstappen, as they cannot really do a team game for the race compared to Mercedes, who have Hamilton and Bottas one behind another. And further down the grid, I think George Russell have a decent chance of scoring points if everything goes his way, which is not guaranteed. He will start the race in 9th place, and there is a hungry Carlos Sainz coming behind. Sergio Perez will for sure climb back up the order, so Russell will need a bit of chance, a bit of luck to score points, but it is not out of the question. Alonso at Alpine, yes, definitely fair chance of scoring also on his side. And for the rest of the grid, I think it could be interesting. Kimi Raikkonen 13, the Alfa Romeo are often very close to the points but never actually in the points. This is an opportunity for them. They are usually really good with the strategies to bring the car back up the order, and if they can do some miracle tomorrow, I think the Alfa Romeo have a decent chance at getting maybe a 9th or 10th place. And that's pretty much all I have for you today, guys. Tell me, what is your opinion of that sprint qualifying, let's call it sprint race? Leave a comment and tell me what you thought, and also remember to hit the like button to subscribe, and I will see you again on Sunday after the British Grand Prix for the usual race recap. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a great day.